When the world gaslights you, how to reclaim your reality. You know that feeling when someone tells you something happened, and you know deep in your bones that it didn't happen that way. But they're so confident, so certain that you start questioning yourself. That little voice in your head that whispers, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Yeah, that feeling. I recently had the privilege of sitting down with Helene Scottel-Nichols, a powerhouse who's dedicating her life to helping people recognize and break free from emotional manipulation. And let me tell you, this conversation shook something loose in me. Helene isn't just talking theory, she's out here in the trenches helping people reclaim their sanity, their peace, and their power in a world that's really good at making us doubt ourselves. She's making the world a better place by shining a light on the shadows where manipulation hides. And today I'm sharing what I learned from her with you. Because here's the thing, we talk a lot about boundaries, we talk about rest, about softness, about saying no without guilt. But what happens when the people around you won't let you have those things? What happens when they twist your words, rewrite your history, and make you feel like you're losing your grip on reality? That's gaslighting, and it's everywhere. Helene Scottel-Nichols helped me understand that gaslighting isn't just some buzzword we throw around when someone disagrees with us. It's a calculated pattern of emotional manipulation designed to make you question your own perception, your memory, your worth. It's when your boss tells you they never said you'd get that promotion, even though you have the email. It's when your partner insists you're overreacting even though your feelings are completely valid. It's when a colleague rewrites the narrative of a meeting to make you look incompetent, and suddenly everyone's nodding along like you're the problem. And the worst part, it works because when someone gaslights you consistently, you start to believe them. You start to think maybe you are too much, too emotional, too difficult. You start shrinking yourself to fit into their version of reality. And before you know it, you've lost yourself completely. Let's talk about what this looks like in the workplace, because that's where so many of us are getting gaslit on a daily basis without even realizing it. Imagine you're in a meeting and you propose an idea, your supervisor dismisses it, maybe even mocks it a little. Then 2 weeks later, they present that exact same idea as their own, and everyone applauds. When you bring it up, they look at you like you've grown a second head. I don't remember you saying that, they say, with just enough confusion in their voice to make you doubt yourself. Or maybe it's more subtle. Maybe it's the way they constantly move the goalposts. So no matter how hard you work, it's never quite enough. Maybe it's the way they praise you in private, but undermine you in front of others. Maybe it's the way they make you feel like you're imagining the hostility, the coldness, the exclusion, might, even though you can feel it in your gut. According to the insights Helene Scottel-Nichols shared, workplace gaslighting is rampant. Employees subjected to this kind of manipulation experience significant emotional distress, diminished job satisfaction, and a desperate desire to just get out. And who can blame them? When your reality is constantly being invalidated, when your experiences are being erased, when your worth is being questioned, it's exhausting. It's soul crushing. It makes you want to disappear. But here's what Helene wants us to know: you're not wrong. You're not too sensitive. You're not imagining it. If something feels off, if your gut is telling you that you're being manipulated, trust that. Your intuition is not your enemy, it's your protector. Now, gaslighting isn't the only way people abuse power in the workplace. Sometimes it's more overt, sometimes it's straight up bullying, intimidation, using their position to make your life difficult. And the thing about power abuse is that it doesn't just affect the person being targeted, it creates a culture of fear. It makes everyone else afraid to speak up, afraid to support you, afraid to be next. Helene Scottel-Nichols talked about how power abuse often results in what's called a group shun. where the person being targeted gets ostracized by the entire team. Not because anyone actually believes they deserve it, but because everyone's too scared to stand with them. In that isolation, that's the point. Because when you're isolated, when you feel like no one has your back, you're easier to control. The stress, the anxiety, the constant feeling of walking on eggshells, it takes a toll. People start calling in sick more, they disengage, they stop contributing, and eventually they leave. And the cycle continues with the next person. But here's the thing: organizations that address power abuse, that create cultures of accountability and support, see real change. Employee engagement goes up, collaboration improves, people actually want to come to work. Imagine that. And it's not just about policies and procedures, it's about creating an environment where people feel safe to speak up, where they know they won't be retaliated against, where their experiences are believed and validated. It's about leadership that models respect, that holds people accountable, that doesn't tolerate toxic behavior just because someone's good at their job. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you. Emotional manipulation isn't just happening in boardrooms and break rooms, it's happening in our phones, our apps, our screens. Helene Scottel-Nichols opened my eyes to the way technology is being designed to manipulate our emotions, to keep us hooked, to make us feel like we need it. Think about it. How many times have you tried to close an app and it hits you with a message like, "Are you sure you want to leave? We'll miss you." Or a chatbot that uses your name, mirrors your language, makes you feel seen and understood. Also, you'll keep engaging. It's subtle, it's sneaky, and it works. We're being emotionally manipulated by algorithms that know us better than we know ourselves. They know what makes us click, what makes us scroll, what makes us stay. And the more we engage, the more data they collect, the better they get at keeping us trapped. And here's the kicker: we don't even realize it's happening. We think we're in control. We think we're just checking our phone real quick. But before we know it, an hour's gone by and we feel worse than we did before. So, what do? How do we protect ourselves from manipulation, whether it's coming from a person or a screen? First, we have to recognize it. We have to educate ourselves on what gaslighting looks like, what power abuse looks like, what digital manipulation looks like, because you can't fight what you can't see. Second, we have to trust ourselves. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't let anyone, and I mean anyone, convince you that your feelings aren't valid, that your experiences didn't happen, that you're making it all up. Third, we have to set boundaries. And I know we talk about boundaries all the time. But listen, boundaries aren't just about saying no to extra work or declining invitations. Boundaries are about protecting your reality. It's about saying, I know what I experienced, and I'm not going to let you rewrite it. It's about walking away from people and environments that consistently make you doubt yourself. Fourth, we need support. We need people who believe us, who validate our experiences, who remind us that we're not wrong, whether that's a therapist, a friend, a support group, or a community. We need people in our corner. And fifth, we have to prioritize self care. I'm not talking about bubble baths and face masks, though those are nice. I'm talking about the deep work of healing, the work of rebuilding your sense of self after it's been torn down, the work of learning to trust yourself again. Helene Scottel-Nichols reminded me that healing isn't linear. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, it's two steps forward, one step back, but it's worth it. Because on the other side of that healing is freedom. Freedom from the voices that told you you weren't enough. Freedom from the people who made you doubt yourself. Freedom to live in your truth unapologetically. And here's what I want you to hear today: You deserve that freedom. You deserve to live in a world where your reality is respected, where your experiences are believed, where your voice matters. You deserve to work in environments that uplift you, not tear you down. You deserve relationships that honor you, not manipulate you. You deserve to engage with technology that serves you, not controls you. This is your time. This is your time to release the cape, to stop carrying everyone else's version of reality and to reclaim your own. This is your time to say, I know what I know, I feel what I feel, and I'm not apologizing for it anymore. So here's what I want you to do. After you finish listening to this, I want you to take a moment. Just sit with yourself. Think about the places in your life where you've been made to feel small, where you've been made to doubt yourself, where you've been gaslit. And I want you to say out loud, that was real. What I experienced was real, and I'm not carrying that shame anymore. Then I want you to think about one boundary you can set this week. Just one. Maybe it's telling someone, I remember it differently and I'm standing by my truth. Maybe it's limiting your time on an app that makes you feel bad about yourself. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who makes you feel seen and heard. Whatever it is, do it. Because every boundary you set, every time you trust yourself, every time you refuse to let someone rewrite your story, you're reclaiming your power. Helene Scottel-Nichols is out here doing the work, helping people see the manipulation for what it is and giving them the tools to break free. And now you have those tools too. You're not wrong. You're not too much. You're not imagining it. You're awake. And that's the most powerful thing you can be. But here's the real question. Now that you're awake, what are you going to do with that awareness? Are you going to keep shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's narrative? Are you going to keep second guessing your reality because someone told you it didn't happen that way? Are you going to keep giving your power away to people and systems that don't deserve it? Or are you going to stand firm in your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's lonely, even when the world tells you you're wrong? Because here's what I've learned: the moment you stop apologizing for your reality, the moment you stop letting others define your worth, the moment you start trusting yourself again, that's when everything changes. That's when you realize you were never the problem. The manipulation was the problem, the gaslighting was the problem, the power abuse was the problem. And now that you see it, now that you name it, now that you refuse to participate in it, you're free. So I'm not asking you to just listen to this talk and move on with your day. I'm asking you to do something with it. I'm asking you to take one step, just one, toward reclaiming your reality. Maybe it's having that hard conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's setting a boundary you've been too afraid to set. Maybe it's walking away from a situation that's been draining you for too long. Whatever it is, do it because your reality matters. Your truth matters. You matter. And the world needs more people who are willing to stand in their truth, even when it's hard, even when it's scary, even when it feels like they're standing alone. So let's reclaim our reality together. Let's stop letting the world gaslight us into silence, into submission, into smallness. Let's be awake. Let's be free. Let's be unapologetically on ourselves because that is the most powerful thing we can be.